Good morning, welcome. Good morning, welcome to the channel, welcome to a new video. On today's menu, the best warm-up for cycling. Now, why is it important to warm up your body before you go out for a bike ride or a race or a hard training session or whatever? First off, really important, in this video I will not be talking about the standard warm-up that cyclists do on their static trainer before a time trial, a hard race, a cyclocross or whatever. I'm talking about a pre-warm-up activation mobility routine to basically get the blood flow going, get a really good neuromuscular connection from brain to muscle and back, get your breathing going a little bit, get your heart rate going, maybe mobilize some joints, some capsules, some ligaments, tendons, all that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing in this video. And as you basically saw in the intro, static stretching is definitely a no-go to perform in a pre-race situation. Now, why is that? You need to know first that your muscles are built out of these little hooks. You got many of them in your muscles. And when you contract a muscle, these hooks basically grip together, pull together and shorten your muscle, which makes it easy, or which makes it possible to move a limb, move a joint, alright? Now what static stretching does is create a begin situation where these hooks are not placed like this in an efficient way, but these hooks basically slide away a little bit, just like this. And just try it yourself. First grip like this and then pull together. It's really easy to basically get a lot of force in there. And now just basically touch your fingertips and then try to hook together. It's much more difficult to get a really good contraction in this way. So what static stretching does is create a situation where your muscle fibers are not in the most efficient situation or position to get the most efficient contraction as possible. And obviously, as a cyclist, you want that every pedal push, every pedal stroke is the most efficient as it can be. So yeah, never ever do static stretching before a race or a hard training session. Now, why is it so important to do this routine? Well, if you only perform your warm-up on your static trainer on your bike itself, you basically only warm up your legs. You don't hit any specific regions of the shoulder, the neck, your diaphragm, your lower back. So I think this pre-warm-up routine is really surplus to add, and it can only help you in your race situation or during your hard training session. So yeah, and that's why we're here for, to help, alright? So let's get into it. Which areas of our body are we working with in this routine? Obviously the legs. We're cyclists, so we will work with the legs. Next up, lower back, pelvic area, hip joint, really important. Then next up, your thoracic area, thoracic spine, and also the diaphragm. Nobody ever talks about the diaphragm, I will. And then last but not least, shoulders and neck region, alright? And what do you need for this session? Really nothing special, just basic stuff. I think every cyclist has this at their home. Just some normal foam roller. You don't need all those pretty big spines on it. Just a flat one is perfect. A elastic / resistance band kind of thing. Doesn't need to be as long as this one. A short one is good. And a exercise yoga mat. Alright?
Alright, here we are again with another voiceover. First exercise is a dynamic hamstring stretch. Basically what you do is you try to go in a little bit of a stretch at the top of the movement and come back out. Don't keep it in the stretch too long to not get a static stretching effect. From this position we can go into the next exercise, which is a dynamic calf stretch. What we do is just push our heels in a dynamic way towards the ground and come back up. From this position we can go into the next exercise, which is the cat camelback exercise. What we do is we make a really hollow back at the beginning of the movement and then actively pull our belly button towards the ceiling and then press it back down as far as we can towards the ground. Really try to control your breathing in this exercise. From this exercise we can go immediately to the next one, which is a glute side raise. 20 reps, each leg should do it, nothing special here. Just raise your leg towards like parallel to the ground. From here we go into a hip mobilization exercise. Just drive your hip along the ground, keep your foot on the ground the whole time and really try to get as big as a circle as you can, basically. From here we go into a prone cobra. We push up, take a deep breath in and then really breathe out and hold it for a few seconds. Really try to keep your pelvic area towards the ground in this exercise. From here we go into the next exercise, which is the glute ham bridge. I think everybody knows this exercise. Nothing special, just push your glutes towards the ceiling, your hips towards the ceiling by contracting your hamstrings and glute muscles. You can do a differentiation, which I'm doing here, which is a unilateral option by just grabbing one leg and again pushing your hips towards the ceiling as high as you can. From here we go into a little abdominal muscle activation. This is a classic abdominal exercise. Nothing special. You can do a little bit of an alteration to it, which I'm doing here, by just sliding your feet over the ground. Next exercise is the quadriceps stand-up. Basically, you stand up from a kneeling position. Make sure you're not extending your knees fully at the top of the movement. Come back down. I usually switch between 5 reps for my stand-up leg, or how should I say it? I do 5 reps where I stand up with my left one, 5 where I stand up with my right one, and then I switch it back up again. The next exercise is the glute side raise, a different option from basically what you do is you perform a side plank and then raise your hips, or one hip. From here we go into the next exercise, which is a full spine flexion and extension exercise. Basically what we do is we let the spine go through its full extension and flexion mobility or range of motion by really working with the neck region and also really extending and flexing our hips. Make sure you're not hitting your nose in this exercise. The next one is the abdominal tuck roll. Make sure you tuck in your knees. Keep a really rounded back in this exercise so the rolling goes as smooth as possible. Next exercise is the diaphragm opener. Really important if you're planning to go hard on a training or race day. What you do is you put the foam roller at the level of your lower ribs, lay over it, try to relax and take like 4 or 5 deep breaths in and out, and just really try to relax here. Last but not least is a shoulder / neck mobilization. What you do is you grab the resistance band at one end, pull towards the ceiling and then pull through behind your body and come back in the same way. So there you have it, the best pre-race warm-up for cycling. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something new. Don't hesitate and don't forget to subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment on this video. It really helps to support the channel. Alright? Thanks for watching, and I see you at the next video.